Let's talk about our top 10 quarterbacks for week 2. And coming right here, getting to it at number 10, we have Jared Goff. Now, Goff is a quarterback that I had really high expectations for. A good quarterback you can get towards the end of your draft and still put up good, solid fantasy points. And we just wasn't able to see exactly what we wanted out of Jared Goff. Yeah, he had a bunch of deep passes down there to Jameson Williams, but Amon-Ra St. Brown was kind of left in the dust. So you know Jared Goff's ceiling is even higher than what he saw coming here now playing against the Buccaneers in week 2. So if we look right here, the Buccaneers ranked 30th against opposing quarterbacks thus far through the season. This could be a shootout this week, right? We could see Amon-Ra get more involved into this offense and Jared Goff really providing what he can do and what he's capable of for fantasy football. I know a lot of managers may not be extremely happy with the production of what he did in week 1, but I think there's only brighter times ahead for Jared Goff. He's got a plethora of weapons out there, whether it be Amon-Ra St. Brown or Sam Laporta. I think he's going to be solid today. Easily my number 10 quarterback on the week. Coming here at number 9, we're going over Brock Purdy, another quarterback, right? We ended up saying, hey, Brandon Ayuk coming into town. I think Brandon Ayuk's doing a really good job. Well, he didn't really do very well, right? Only a couple catches. I think he had limited workload. We saw Deebo Samuel running more in the backfield. Christian McCaffrey was out. Even though everything was stacked against Brock Purdy going against the New York Jets, he was still able to put out a show and do good enough to where, hey, look, the 49ers are winning in a dominant fashion. Now, Brock Purdy, he's known to have some pretty good fantasy weeks, right? He can put your team on his shoulder and help you win any given week. I think he can do that this week against the Vikings. Let's just look at the Vikings and what they did in week 1. As of right now, they rank first against opposing quarterbacks. And first off, you'd probably look at that and be, whoa, that is really daunting. But we have to remember, they played against the Giants in week 1. So really, they played against Daniel Jones. They didn't play about anybody. So don't be scared off about that number that, oh, they're ranked first against opposing quarterbacks. Well, I mean, it happens whenever you play against Daniel Jones. You know what I mean? But Brock Purdy is no Daniel Jones. So don't be scared off about the Vikings. I think he's a really good start this week. Obviously, I put him here at my number 9 here. You should see Brandon Ayuk even work even more. They still got George Kittle. It's up in the air whether or not Christian McCaffrey is going to be there or not. But again, still got Deebo Samuel. We saw Juwan Jennings as the number 1 pass catcher for week 1. So there's a lot of plethora of weapons out there for Brock Purdy. I think week 2 is going to be really good again for him against the Vikings team that they should be able to dominate these guys, right? They should go in there and really put their foot down, put their foot on their necks and really provide some solid fantasy production for you. So moving right along here at number 8, we're talking about CJ Stroud. Now, he's another person we were coming into the season super excited about. He's got so many weapons, right? And he's able to do some really good things. He showed out pretty well. He had a pretty good performance, I would say, against the Colts. Nothing that's blowing anything out of the water, but I know he can even do better. Even this week against the Bears, I think he has the opportunity to go out there and say, hey, look, I am still the man. Let's go provide this. But if we look at the Bears, right, we're seeing that as of right now, they are ranked 6th against opposing quarterbacks. And again, just like we just said it a minute ago when they're going against Daniel Jones, the Bears, they played the Titans in week 1 and Will Levis. So yeah, they have more weapons out there, but at the end of the day, it's still Will Levis. And while I do have Levis as a sleeper quarterback, he still has to develop. He still has to mature into a good NFL quarterback. So when you see that somebody's ranking 6th against the opposing quarterbacks and all they've had is Will Levis so far, again, it's only 1 week. So don't just panic over the numbers that you see. CJ Stroud is absolutely elite. Doesn't matter if he's going against the 6th best quarterback defense. He's still going to do good. He's solid. He's fine. I think he's going to go out there and throw it to all of his weapons and be a really good option for you in fantasy football here this week in week 2. So move right along here at number 7. We're going Kyler Murray, right? Kyler Murray, again, I have high expectations for this season. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. may have some just kind of some panicness, right? His first NFL game, he had some drops, and it's just right into his breadbasket, right? And he ended up dropping the football. What's going on with this? But that's okay. I think it's going to get better. It's going to improve. It's going to get better. I know, right? But he's still got Trey McBride at the tight end position. He's still got some wheels. He showed off that he could still run the football in Kyler Murray last week. I think he's going to have a really good opportunity this week against a Rams team that's kind of the same, right? I mean, they're going to go kind of back and forth just a little bit. We'll see what happens. But look at the Rams right now. As of right now, they ranked 14th against opposing quarterbacks. And we look for Marvin Harrison Jr. to be even more comfortable within this offense, in the scheme, and really getting more and more involved into this passing game from Kyler Murray. I think this is going to happen in week 2. And each week that goes on, I think you're going to see Marvin Harrison and Kyler Murray really start to link up quite a bit. Marvin Harrison Jr. has elite talent. And it's going to show out sooner rather than later. So Move right along here. At number 6, we're going over with Jayden Daniels, another quarterback that was highly touted, right? We were excited to see what Jayden Daniels can provide for you fantasy-wise, and I don't think he disappointed too much. In his first NFL game, he was doing everything, whether he was running the football or throwing the football. I think he needs to do more on the throwing aspect. Terry McLaurin was almost irrelevant in week 1. I see Terry McLaurin get much more involved, linking up with Jayden Daniels. You're going to start really seeing these passing numbers start to increase for Jayden Daniels. He has a high floor because of the amount of rushing ability that he has, but I think he's going to continue to develop. Guys, pump your brakes on panicking on a lot of these guys of what you've seen. It's week 1 of the NFL, right? There's going to have some growing pains. It's going to happen. But look at this week. They got the Giants coming to town for the Commanders, and boy, this is going to be good. They rank 18th against opposing quarterbacks. They should absolutely shred the Giants this week. Absolutely shred. There should be no competition for Jayden Daniels to go out there and do anything that's irrational. I think he's going to go out there and show you guys, hey, look, we are here to play. Jayden Daniels will make his mark on the NFL in week 2, I believe, against the Giants. It's going to be really, really good. You've got to start this guy, get him in your lineup, and be happy that you have him, right? Let's move right along here to the top 5. We're going Jalen Hurts. I do have Hurts here at my number 5 option. And just like I told you guys last week, I think Saquon Barkley is really a big part of this offense. And that's going to hurt a lot of what Jalen Hurts does, especially in the red zone. They handed off to Saquon Barkley quite a bit. He had a lot of opportunities there. And what happens when you have a running back like Saquon Barkley and doing what he did, it's just going to limit the amount of upside that you have from a running quarterback like Jalen Hurts. Yeah, he still gets his rush from here and there. He still gets his passing opportunities, but Saquon Barkley's taken some of that options away from him. That's why I put him here at number 5. They got the Falcons coming to town over here for the Eagles, and we look at right now they're ranking at 13th against opposing quarterbacks, right? It should be another hard battle this week, right? It should be a lot of back and forth between these two teams. I think the Falcons are good enough on defense to keep this game even closer than what people would suggest. I think that's going to give Hurts even more of an ample opportunity to go out there and put up solid fantasy points for your team. There's a lot of options out there, whether it be Dallas Goedert, who played quite a bit last week. You got AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, newly acquired Jahan Dotson, and then Saquon Barkley in the backfield. So there's a lot of passing opportunity for Jalen Hurts in a game that I expect to be close. I think he's easily my number 5 for the week. Moving here at number 4, we're going Patrick Mahomes. Again, we saw what he was able to do at Rashee Rice. We saw Xavier Worthy light up the storm, right? Xavier Worthy, I was wrong on, right? I thought he was just going to be a little bit more irrelevant. He showed me that he could be a really good wide receiver in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes is going to absolutely love this guy. But look at him going up this week against a Bengals defense that I think that Patrick Mahomes can absolutely go up there and shred as well. So we just look at, as of right now, the Bengals are ranked 3rd against opposing quarterbacks. But again, we have to remember they played the Patriots in week 1, and that's just Jacoby Brissett, right? Jacoby Brissett, you're not thinking about, oh, he's a top fantasy wide receiver quarterback, right? So that's what kind of made them look better than what they actually did. I think there's going to be a really good opportunity right here for Patrick Mahomes to go out there and show why he is the king ding-a-ling. You know what I mean? I think he's going to have a really good game in week 2. Easily my number 4 quarterback on the week. Move right along here at number 3. We're going Anthony Richardson. I told you guys when I had Anthony Richardson as my number 2 overall fantasy quarterback for the whole season, people laughed at me in the comment section. They were saying how dumb I was. Well, who's dumb now, Nancy? I'm telling you, I think Anthony Richardson is going to be phenomenal week in and week out. Going to be a great fantasy option for you. He showed last week. He was throwing down some bombs down there, 40-yard plus passes down the field to Alec Pierce. He was doing the dang thing. You know what I mean? So this week, no different. They're going against a Packers team that's a little banged up because no Jordan Love is in there. But as of right now, the Packers defense does rank 23rd against opposing quarterbacks. It should be more on the offense this week, right? There's going to be no Jordan Love, which tells me there's going to be a lot of 3 and outs, especially if Malik Willis is the quarterback for the Packers. A ton of 3 and outs. So that means AR, he's going to be on the field a lot. And if he's on the field a lot, that means they're going to be scoring a lot of points. He is going to score fireworks this week just by the amount of opportunity he's going to have to score points, because the Packers are, oh my gosh, let's just say there's a bunch of cockadoodle over there with Patrick Willis. They're not going to be able to move the ball up and down the field. It is what it is. It's AR season. He's going to be an awesome quarterback this week. Get him in your lineup and be happy that you have him. Coming here at number 2, we're going over with Lamar Jackson. We saw in week 1, whether or not it was Isaiah Likely or whatever the case is, he's phenomenal, right? I think it's going to be a lot more Derrick Henry this week than Lamar Jackson, but Lamar Jackson is going to be just good enough. I think he should be your second-rated quarterback on this option. They're not going to stop him. Who on the Raiders defense? Right, you got Max Crosby, right? Other than that, who's out there going to stop anybody? Whether it's Derrick Henry or Lamar Jackson, it's a phenomenal combo. We're going to see it increase. I think Isaiah Likely's production comes down a little bit. Mark Andrews' goes up a little bit. But overall, you're going to see Lamar Jackson be absolutely phenomenal against this Raiders team. As of right now, the Raiders, they rank 8th against opposing quarterbacks. The Raiders absolutely have no answer for Lamar Jackson. They won't have an answer. You set it and forget it, almost like one of those easy bake ovens, right? It is what it is. You just put it in there, bing. What you get is what you get. It's going to be a good fantasy week. Coming here at number 1, again, we have Josh Allen, right? He going over there at Thursday Night Football, taking on the Dolphins team. That's going to be a nice little shootout, right? We saw what Josh Allen was able to do, even without the plethora of weapons, whether it's Stephon Diggs or Gabe Davis. He was able to give you a phenomenal fantasy outing with his legs, running for touchdowns and doing the dang thing. Let's look at the Dolphins right now. As of right now, they rank 9th against opposing quarterbacks. Look for a high-flying shootout type of game, right? There'll be a lot of back and forth. I'm hoping it's not going to be too rainy. I don't know. There may be some rain involved with this game. We're going to have to wait and see. I'm not really sure. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a lot of scoring back and forth. Josh Allen's going to have to use his legs, going to use his arms, and that's going to make him the number 1 option in week 2 at the quarterback position. Guys, make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. That is our top 10 quarterbacks for week 2, guys. I can't wait to see you guys hoist up a trophy at the end of this season and become a champion right here with the Bayou Bingo Fantasy Network. I can't wait to see you guys on the next video. We'll see you guys next time.